It was that car was representing us, all of us. When I seen that thing, it was like, you got goosebumps. Like, man, we're on TV, you know? And I think that's what makes that car so famous, is because it was the first car to break that barrier.
At that point, I realized that lowriding was much bigger than what I knew it to be on the street or in the park.
Lowrider magazine was such an important sort of product that really visualized lowrider culture around the world, right? And it played a very big role in sort of the marketing and dissemination of lowrider culture.
You know, they took something that was there and they innovated and they looked at it with a different perspective. And so Sonny Madrid had started Lowrider magazine. He's originally from San Juan, but I think it's also important to know that he was also an activist. So he was heavily involved with the Chicano movement.
When it started, you know, in 1977, it was a magazine by Sonny Madrid, and Larry Gonzalez. It was a magazine for Chicanos by Chicanos, and it was for the Chicano community.
And that just created a big old explosion, because this is the first time you could open a book, a magazine, you could see our people as we are in our neighborhoods and communities, you know?
The onset of gangster rap in the 90s, you know, and that's where we really see like the global exposure to lowriding was through the channels of the early 90s gangster rap videos.
You see it in hip hop, right? I see it with lowriding Chicano culture, where like, because of globalization and because of the internet, people are learning about our culture through the screen.
I tell you, when I was in Japan, and you know, there's a big cholo lowriding culture there. It's a subculture. I was very amazed how respectful the Japanese were, because part of me was saying, oh, they're appropriating our culture. You know, part of me is like, hey, you know, they're using us. I didn't get that. They totally love the culture, and they give it props. They say, this is Chicano. A lot of people take the culture and don't say that. And so they said this, and they really emulated it so good. They followed it. And so I began to respect them for respecting us.
Yeah, like Japan does everything incredible. Like anything like artistically or technically, you know, they're like masters.
When they jump into a culture, they go 100% in.
Does one sole group have ownership over lowriding? That in and of itself is debatable, right? So, you know, it's like when I talk about lowriding in Japan and people that don't know any better go, lowriding in Japan, that's crazy. I'm like, is it? What about a little white kid in suburban America who's taking karate lessons, who's counting in Japanese? Is that crazy?
But one thing I noticed, they were all into the culture, beautiful, tattoos and everything, but they're not gangster. They're not killing each other. And I'm saying they kind of picked up the beauty of it and not picked up the ugliness.
So, any of you have any questions about body of warfare, about the conference that's going to be taking place this Saturday at Mission High School in San Francisco? Feel free to give us a call at 785-4917.
The thing that worries me, though, is the barrio warfare. You know, like, I'm a gringo, and it kind of worries me, because I'm in the south end of Hayward, and I know you're hep, but what about all the other dudes that's riding around, you know, looking for some happenings, you know, some action?
Okay, before anybody keeps calling, I want to make some points clear. There's a lot of youths, there's a lot of raza that are being murdered. We got to stop. We got to stop and realize that those persons, regardless of their color, regardless of their race, are human beings.
there still are a lot of us who live that lifestyle, and I've seen my share of war, and I'm over it. I've been over it, Holmes. Aggression, anger, and violence on any level. Hey, Holmes, I am a retired tough guy, for reals. You know what I mean? I did all that. But to me, the strongest gesture I can make in this point in my life is to totally move in a different direction, because it solves nothing and never did and never will.
Unless you want to change, you're never going to change. It all comes from you, man. You got to want to change, you know. Once you change yourself, things will change with you, man.
Hey, homie, I was wrong. I'm still on my hood, but now when I see the homies, instead of, trying to give them a strap, I try to give them some advice, work, get a holly, do this. This is gangster, homie. People get upset at me sometimes. That's just being a man. That's maybe to you, but I'm trying to change the narrative. Being gangster now is going to work, taking care of your family, putting food on the plate, man, putting a roof on top of the kid's head.
We have a beautiful culture. Spanish, Indian, it's a beautiful culture. But they didn't want us to be gangsters. That's not what they wanted, right? They built Los Angeles. Anybody can go down to the placita and look under that big tree at the plaque of the founding families that founded Los Angeles. There they are. Their names are there. That's the kind of people we want to be, making life better. And they were mestizos. They were Spaniards, they were Indians, mulattoes, whatever they were, but they all worked together. And we founded Los Angeles, and it became a great city. We need that. We need that again.